That is an insane combo, and there are so many ways to get into this perfect board. Being able to have a one-sided Macrocosmos, a one-sided skill drain is why I think heroes can be so dominant in this format. Not only did the January 2020 Forbidden list hit all of Heroes competitors, but legendary duelist magical heroes gave the deck an insane boost. Now being able to use elemental heroes as a part of their fusion-based strategy, monsters like Elemental Hero Absolute Zero and Masked Hero Acid become available to the deck's arsenal, meaning that it can destroy opponents' back row and monster boards with ease. Unfortunately, all of this hype doesn't get heroes the clear path that it needs to be the dominant deck. There are still some obstacles and hurdles that the deck must forego, like proper deck building and planning against the new meta that the strategy must take on. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, in this video I will be talking to you guys about how heroes can completely dominate the meta. Before we get into this video, if you guys want to see more content like this, then go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. I really do enjoy talking about a strategy and how it can be very competitive, as well as giving you guys a sample build. For the people that didn't know, this is what's gonna take place of deck profiles, since I mean, like, anybody can sit in front of a camera and just show you cards. I personally feel if you still want to feel the nostalgia of the Yu-Gi-Oh show while also being competitive, heroes are the perfect bridge between that. Granted, we're not playing Elemental Hero Burstronix or Clayman, but this is probably the closest you're going to get to a competitive nostalgia deck that actually had some part inside of the show. Heroes are really powerful, and the reason being is because they can shut off your opponent in so many different ways. Masked Hero Darklaw is a card that players always look forward to because it is a very unfair card. I mean, Macrocosmos is at 1 for a reason. This card is not only a walking Macrocosmos, but it only applied to the opponent. Also, when your opponent decides to search cards from their deck to their hand, once per turn, Masked Hero Darklaw can rip a card out of the opponent's hand. This is normally the focal point when going first because it puts the opponent in a really bad position because now they can't interact with their graveyard. If that weren't to make things worse, then there's always Destiny Hero Plasma. Now, while this card isn't necessarily new, it's fairly new to the strategy. Heroes didn't have access to multiple monsters to their side of the field, so this card wasn't as easy to play until about last year. Destiny Hero Plasma is a one-sided skill drain in the form of a Relinquished as well. It can negate all of your opponent's monsters on their side of the field, as well as snatch an opponent's monster and equip it to himself. While equipped, Plasma actually gains half of that monster's attack, meaning that Plasma can more than likely be the strongest monster on the board. I feel that Darklaw and Plasma when going first are probably the perfect combination of cards. It doesn't feel that you need multiple interruptions in this particular deck, being able to negate all their monster effects while also preventing them from searching unless they want to pay the cost of losing a card in their hand, and having a one-sided Macrocosmos seems to be the theme of this deck. If you can pull that off, more often than not, you can put your opponent in a really bad bind. Now, the hero strategy isn't without its weaknesses. As good as a board-breaking going second deck it is, it's not an amazing all-world beater. This deck actually struggles against multiple negation boards no matter how you put it. I mean, Hero at its core isn't built to play around multiple negations, but of course you can always play cards inside of your main deck to deal with that, and then your hero cards can finish up. Another weakness to the hero strategy is just back row heavy decks. Back row heavy decks can be the bane of this deck's existence, which is more often than not why you choose to go first, because you can set up your board and then have your counter strategy going for them, but if they go first, they can put you in a pretty bad spot. I think the biggest unsung weakness to the hero strategy is stopping its critical choke points. It's not necessarily Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring in the Destiny Hero Malicious, or being able to destroy monsters before they can start popping off with their plays. It's actually preventing that first summon. More often than not, when you prevent heroes' first summon, or if you can prevent the Faris that follows up, then heroes will really struggle to get on the board. If you can do that, then you're in clear selling. So with all of that out of the way, let's talk about this particular build, and hopefully it can be a guide to your hero deck profile. I like to say that my monster lineup for the hero strategy is just a wee bit different. I really do value that second copy of Elemental Hero Solid Soldier. Reason being is because Solid Soldier plus Elemental Hero Stratos is a really good play, but also Solid Soldier plus Vision Hero Vyon and Solid Soldier plus Shadow Mist are pretty good plays as well. Depending on your hand sequence, you can parlay those two monsters into a plethora of other options which can be full board. There are a lot of strategies that don't play 2 copies of Solid Soldier, they only play that 1 copy, which means they have to rely on cards like Reinforcement of the Army or Emergency Call to get into it. But with the second copy inside of the deck, I now have 7 ways to get into this card, and it's really good to be able to fuse off your side of the field. Another thing I want to talk about is the lack of Destiny Hero monsters. I only run 1 copy of Plasma and 3 copies of Destiny Hero Malicious, no copies of Destiny Hero Celestial, and no copies of Destiny Hero Dynatag. Now I have no hate on the Destiny Hero monsters, and I'm actually a huge fan of Fusion Destiny and Destiny Hero Dystopia. But what I've noticed about the deck post Magical Heroes is that you actually want to special summon Elemental Hero Sunriser to your side of the field, and that is a light monster, meaning that your Fusion Destiny play has to come at the end of your combo sequence. And with that in mind, it feels like a win more when you get to special summon a Destiny Hero Dystopia to your side of the field just for that extra form of disruption. I don't think that it's necessarily worth it. And in the events that you can Fusion Destiny for your first turn opening play, you're not really opening the best of boards. I mean, sure, you can go into your Destiny Hero Dangerous in a pitch and send your Shadow Mist to be able to pop off with your combos, but then now you're only locked into Dark Hero monsters for the duration of the turn. I'm not saying that Fusion Destiny is a bad card whatsoever, but I really do love the aspect of being able to pop off with my Solid Soldier and being able to use my Elemental cards. Also, cutting out the Destiny Hero engine allowed me to give a lot of extra deck space to some other super secret spicy techs to help me break opponents' boards. Oh yeah, and don't worry about them proxies, I got them on the way. Whoa. Except for a Dusted Gold. That card's expensive. I needed a Dusted Gold. I also think Elemental Hero Liquid Man is a very fun card to play, but you only really need 1. Its normal summon effect is amazing, but I would rather use that normal summon on a Solid Soldier. I do love its ability to be able to draw 2 cards and discard 1, and that actually played another huge factor in cutting out the Destiny Hero engine, because in that particular sequence where I do draw 2 cards and discard 1, I hated and completely hated drawing Destiny Hero Dynatag and Celestial. They just felt really slow. Now, most of the spells are extremely standard inside of this particular lineup. I have my 7 fusion spells, I have my 5 search cards, I even have cards like Monster Reborn and Foolish Burial. But now moving on to our counter cards, I actually forewent our hand trap cards in favor of Forbidden Chalice and the hand trap and Infinite Impermanence. The crazy thing is that with the new Forbidden list, I thought hand traps could make a comeback. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring can find the right moment for it to be able to hit that clutch card that your opponent needs. Ghost Ogre being probably the most secret good card inside of this format because it gets rid of the threat. But after serious testing, I don't really care what boards you build. Heroes are meant to break it. That's why Super Polymerization is inside of this deck. I really don't care what you do with your turn. I'm gonna fuse your cards, make a monster, and continue to push on. Forbidden Chalice and Infinite Impermanence pretty much say the exact same thing. Now, there are choke points where Infinite Impermanence could negate a card on my opponent's turn, but to be honest with you guys, a lot of times I'd rather just wait until you finish your board and then just freely Infinite Impermanence the actual threat. Forbidden Chalice actually does the exact same thing, except I can play it while I have cards on my side of the field. I felt that it was easier for this deck to break boards, so I might as well just go with the break board strategy instead of preventing you to make your board. Keep in mind, I still do have Evil Hero Malicious Bane and Absolute Zero anytime I want to wipe your cards off the side of the field. There's nothing really special about the extra deck. Don't look at my Evil Hero Malicious Bane, I have a real one on the way, but one card I actually want to highlight is what we kicked out our Destiny Hero Dystopia and Destiny Hero Dangerous for, and it's the World Chalice Guard Dragon Almerdurk. This card is phenomenal. In theory, Heroes in Spiral are some of the best decks of the format, and Spiral's normal board consists of a Nightmare Phoenix, a Trigate Wizard, Apollosa, and a Spiral Double Helix. Well, that's you know, at least 3 link monsters that I can super poly into, make this huge monster, and the only thing I have to deal with is Spiral Sleeper after that. I thought that that was really saucy. I still also feel that dark decks are going to be really popular, so I do have that Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Ultimately, I think that Super Polymerization is one of the better cards of the format, and when Master Rule 4 Revised comes out, you can special summon monsters to your main monster zone, meaning that I don't even have to worry about getting the card off the field. Lastly, for the side deck, I think since the format is pretty open, I'm not 100% sure what I should play. I wanted to run Twin Twisters in the main board because this deck does struggle with back row heavy decks, but at the same time that Super Polymerization just felt so right. I think that it's fairly easy to swap between the Twin Twisters and the Super Polymerization depending on what your event calls for, but it's pretty standard. I actually opted over Nibiru for Dark Ruler No More for the exact same reason why I don't play hand traps. I don't care what board you make against this hero strategy, I'm going to break it, and there's not really much you can do about it. I feel that decks need to have a personality, and that's what this strategy screamed to me. Break the opponent's board, don't really care about what they make. Ultimately, I feel heroes are that type of deck. Okay guys, so moving on, I'm gonna show you a combo that will blow your socks off. This is technically a 2.5 card combo, but the reason why I say 2.5 card is because this isn't the only way to make it. I'll actually even be uploading some test hands on my Patreon, but let's actually keep focused on this particular combo. I'm gonna be using Solid Soldier and Stratos, and I'm also going to include Elemental Hero Shadow Mist because that's the least desirable card that I want in my hand. I'm gonna go ahead and start off by normal summoning Elemental Hero Solid Soldier, special summoning the Stratos to add a Vision Hero Faris from my deck to my hand. Sending the Shadow Mist to the graveyard, I'm gonna special summon the Faris, not using Shadow Mist's effect. I'm gonna place the Increase into my spell and trap card zone. I'll then use the Vision Hero Increase to special summon itself by tributing the Faris, and also special summon the Vision Hero Vyon. Now, if I had the Shadow Mist in my hand, of course I'm gonna send the Malicious, and vice versa. If I had the Malicious in my hand, I'm going to send Shadow Mist and I wouldn't activate its effect. Using the other effect of Vision Hero Vyon, I'm gonna banish the Vision Hero Faris and add a Polymerization to my hand, and then I'm gonna banish Destiny Hero Malicious to summon a second copy of Destiny Hero Malicious. Malicious plus Vision Hero Increase will be used for a link summon into Xtra Hero Cross Crusader. Bring back your Destiny Hero Malicious and then tribute it for the effect of the Cross Crusader to add Destiny Hero Plasma. From here, I'm going to use Polymerization, fusing both my Solid Soldier and my Stratos into Elemental Hero Sunrise. Now, Sunrise will be chain link 2, your Elemental Hero Solid Soldier will be chain link 1, Sunrise will allow me to add a Miracle Fusion, and the Solid Soldier will special summon my Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. The effect of my Elemental Hero Shadow Mist will now trigger, allowing me to add Mass Change from my deck to my hand, and then I'm going to banish my last copy of Destiny Hero Malicious to special summon another copy of Destiny Hero Malicious. Finally, for the resolution of my turn, I'm going to tribute the Vision Hero Vyon, the Destiny Hero Malicious, and the Xtra Hero Cross Crusader for Destiny Hero Plasma. And during my opponent's turn, during the end phase of my turn, I'm going to set the Mass Change. During my opponent's turn, I'm going to activate the Mass Change on my Elemental Hero Shadow Mist to bring out my Mass Hero Darklaw, which will trigger my Shadow Mist's effect to add an Elemental Hero Honest Neos. That is an insane combo, and there are so many ways to get into this perfect board. Being able to have a one-sided Macrocosmos, a one-sided skill drain is why I think heroes can be so dominant in this format. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.